Hi grade 5s, welcome to the second video on equivalent fractions for page 33. Alright, let's look at the top box on page 33. It says to get an equivalent fraction, multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. So picture A has 3 parts shaded out of a possible 4, so it's 3/4 equals something. So we have the exact same picture, except now they've divided it even further into smaller parts. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 parts at the bottom. And how many are shaded? 2, 4, 6. 6 are shaded. So in order to get 6/8, you can actually multiply it by 2. Multiply the numerator, 3 times 2 equals 8, and 4 times 2 equals 8. So you always have to multiply by the exact same number for the top and bottom. You can't have different numbers, or else they will not be equivalent. Okay, number 5. So draw lines to cut the whole pies into more equal pieces. Fill in the numerators of the equivalent fractions. So A has 3 circles, and each of them have been divided into halves. Okay. So what they want you to do is to divide the circle into 4 pieces. So all you have to do is draw a line here. Now you have to divide it into 6 pieces. So you're going to draw 2 diagonal lines. Okay, then you have to divide it into 8 pieces. So a horizontal line and then 2 diagonal lines. Okay, so now you see the first one done. So a half. A half is all these circles, and they want you to find equivalent fractions to a half. So the first one is 4 pieces, so you'll see the 4 here. 6 pieces here, 8 pieces here. Now you have to find the numerators. So how did they get from 2 to 4? 1, 2. So they have 2 shaded parts, so you can write 2 at the top. How many shaded parts are here? 1, 2, 3. 3. How many shaded parts here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And you can see that 2 times 2 equals 4, 1 times 2 equals 2, so they multiplied by 2 for this one. For 3, 6, they did 1 times 3 equals 3, 2 times 3 equals 6, and for 4 8s, they multiplied by 4. 2 times 4 equals 8, 1 times 4 equals 4. So all 3 of these fractions are equivalent to a half, okay? 6a. Oh, sorry, so you're going to do b yourself. Okay, 6a. Draw lines to cut the whole pie into more pieces. Then fill in the missing numbers. So the first one has been divided into 3 parts and 2 parts are shaded, so the fraction is 2/3. Then they want you to find an equivalent fraction, and they're giving you the denominator for the fraction. So the denominator is 6. So you have to think 3 times what gives you 6? 2. So remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So it's the exact same number. So what's 2 times 2? 4. So you're going to write over here, 4, 6. Okay? Then B, we have 4 parts and 3 parts are shaded, so we have 3/4. And the equivalent fraction, the denominator is 8. So you have to think 4 times what equals 8? 2. So remember, what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top as well. Times 2, 3 times 2 equals 6. So write 6/8 here. So you're in charge of doing C yourself. Okay, so 7. Use multiplication to find the equivalent fraction. So they give you a fraction. They give you the denominator for every single one. And so you have to ask yourself, for example, 7a. 5 times what equals 10? 2. So whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. So it should be 2 tenths. B. A half times what gives you a fraction with the denominator 10? So 2 times what? 5. And 5 at the top. So 5 tenths. C. 2/5 times something gives you a fraction with the denominator of 10. 5 times 2 equals 10, so 2 times 2 equals 4. D. 3/4 times something gives you a fraction with the denominator of 8, so 4 times what equals 8? 2. And then 2 at the top again. 3 times 2 equals 6. Okay, so you're going to do the rest of the questions in number 7 yourself, and then let's do number 8. Okay, so for number 8, it says write 5 fractions equivalent to 2/5. So they've written 2/5 for you, and you have to find 5 equivalent. We're gonna do, let's say we'll do 2 together. You're in charge of doing the rest yourself. Okay, so I would suggest you multiply starting with 2, and then 3, 4, 5, you can go in order, but you can choose any number you want as long as you multiply both the top and the bottom by the same number. So I'm going to start with times 2. Okay, so here we have 4/10. Then for this one, we're going to take 2/5, which is the original number fraction we start with. And after multiplying by 2, I'm going to now multiply by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 10. Okay, so for the first 2 boxes, I would write 4/10, 6/10, and then for the third box, I would continue. I would take 2/5 times 4, both top and bottom, and then keep going from there on. Okay, so remember, you can choose any number you want as long as you multiply both the top and the bottom by the exact same number. Okay, so you have to find 5 equivalent fractions. Right, that's